Next, let us talk about the design guideline and criteria for water reticulation system. First, we talk about the consumptions per capita. The consumption rate is in accordance to different categories of the development. We have domestic, meaning the residential development. We have commercial, dealing with hotel, resorts, complex office building, shop lots. We have institutions, schools, hospitals, government clinics, armed force, police, place of worship. And we have industrial, light, medium, and heavy industry. For the domestic category, this is calculated on the basis of typical 5.5 person per household. The consumption rate in liter per capita per day are given here. For urban area, 250 liters per capita per day. As for rural area, 150 liters per capita per day. On the basis of 5.5 person per household, the total consumptions for 1 unit of residential building would be 5.5 times the liters per capita per day, depending on the area of the development. As for the shop lot, for a typical size of 60 feet times 22 feet, 2,000 liters per floor per day. Let's say a shop lot has 3 floors. The consumptions, it would be 3 multiplied with 2,000 liters per floor per day. Next, we talk about the demand fluctuations factors. It is given in the guideline. The maximum hourly or peak consumptions shall have a factor of 2.2. Maximum daily consumption shall have a factor of 1.15. Average daily consumptions 1.0. For design with existing supply, it is required to study the actual demand pattern and subsequently derive the appropriate factors. These factors are used for the new development. It is noted that the factors given here is based on the guideline for the submissions of water supply applicable to Sarawak State. The relevant water supply agencies include Laku Management Sendirian Berhad or Sibu Water Board. The factors as well as the consumption rate may differ in other areas. For example, if you are referring to the Uniform Technical Guideline, Water Reticulations and Plumbing, as given by SPAN, which is the Suruhanjaya Perkhidmatan Air Negara, the requirements and the factors vary slightly. Specifically, the peak flow is to be multiplied with 2.5 times the average daily demand flow, and the supplements is to be multiplied with 1.2 times the average daily demand flow. The estimations of the water demands also vary, which you may refer to table B.1 of the Uniform Technical Guideline, Water Reticulations and Plumbing, as given by SPAN. We shall discuss about the content given in the Uniform Technical Guidelines in other videos. Coming back to this guideline, the firefighting demands are given here, which is classified under different risk class from A to E. Class A refers to large building, shopping complexes, high-rise building, large industrial estate, warehouse, and ports. Class B, congested area with buildings up to 5 stories. Class C, shop house, up to 3-story light industry. Class D, residential terrace house, detached, semi-detached. And Class E, others. The average total flows is given here in the rate of liters per minute, and the spanning in meters are given here. In general, the fire hydrant should be spaced by a maximum of 90 meters, unless for Class E, which is for the development other than those listed in Class A to D. For Class E, the distance between fire hydrant can be up to 180 meters. These are the maximum numbers of fire hydrant outlets used simultaneously. For Class C, D, and E, there will be one fire hydrant being used simultaneously. As for Class A and B, which are meant for large buildings, there may be more than one fire hydrant outlet being used simultaneously. For Class A, 3 numbers of fire hydrant. As for Class B, 2 numbers of fire hydrants. Each will have the average flow rate of 1,370 liters per minute. Next, we look at the other requirements. The minimum pressures in the water reticulation system during the peak daily demand. For urban area, it will be 20 meters. As for the rural area, it will be 10 meters. During the peak daily demand, more people are using water. This shall be the time that the water pressure may be inadequate. Therefore, we will need to check the minimum pressures in the system to ensure that the water reticulation system is functioning properly during the peak period. In the case that the calculated outcome implies that the pressure is insufficient, the consultant should come up with solutions, such as constructions of the high-level tank or booster pump. It is also important to check for the maximum pressure in the system, not exceeding the 60 meters. This shall be checked for all cases. To make it simple, you will need the information for the 24 hours pressure record chart. Based on the chart, you will get the maximum pressure and the minimum pressure in a day. And then, based on the layout of the water reticulation system, you will need to perform the network analysis, calculate the head loss, in order to determine the maximum pressures and the minimum pressures under various circumstances. You will need to make sure that in no case that the maximum pressures and the minimum pressure gets lower than the minimum pressure requirement and no higher than the maximum pressures requirement. In the case that the maximum pressure is exceeded, pressure reducing valve may be required. Next, the system needs to take into considerations regarding the fire flow. The details of firefighting demands are given here. For fire flow plus the average demand, the pressure should be 10 meters. Next, we talk about the general layout of the water mains. The main should be usually laid in front of the building for easy access, especially when it comes to the maintenance. Gate or sluice valve should be located to minimize water supply interruptions during pipe breakage. The location should be properly planned. Usually we put the sluice valves at the junction of the water reticulation piping system. The valve should not be located under pavement whenever possible. It is for easy access of the valve. And the positions of the fire hydrants are to be approved by Jabatan Bomba. And the other design requirement should be in accordance to the spesifikasi Pembinaan Saluran Pipe Air.